Hello, dear learners. So, welcome to our channel Developers Training Hub. Now we are in Module 1, that is about how we can set up development environment for our upcoming project that we together learn and implement. Okay, so you must be excited enough to quickly start the Module 1. So I would also not take much time and let's just begin. Since Module 1 is about how we can keep our laptop or development machine ready for our project development, so it is a bit longer. So what I did, I divided this Module 1 video into two parts. So part 1 is about all the mandatory settings. That means without which you cannot even think of starting the development, like the core framework related components and libraries. You can't do any development if you don't have .NET Core framework or Node.js or Angular libraries, right? And Microsoft SQL Server is also very necessary. And in order to make a rapid development, you must have uh, any IDE. So we have opted Microsoft Visual Studio as in IDE. So we will help you here how you can configure your machine with these mandatory platform related frameworks, libraries, and mandatory other settings to keep your machine ready for development. Okay. And part 2 is about how we can set up the utility related programs, libraries to support our development. Okay. So how we can create a basic project structure, how our project can interact with version control software. So that all part we will touch and give in part 2. Okay. So first begin with part 1. Okay. So I'm just starting with part 1 of this module 1. Okay, so the tools and technologies. Okay, so as I said you earlier also, so we are going to use .NET Core as in backend framework that will help us to create the backend API. Okay, web in microservices manner. Okay, and we will use it in Angular. So Angular is again a front-end framework that we will use for designing the user interfaces and the flow of the project. I mean, how the actual web page look alike. Okay, those all tasks will be done in Angular. Okay, and this Angular will utilize the web API, the microservices-based web API that we create in .NET Core. Okay, so you will going to use .NET Core, Angular, and in order to keep the user data and the application data, we need a database server. So we will use a Microsoft SQL Server for as in database management tool. Okay, so our backend services will interact with the databases. Okay, so in this project, we are going to use 3-tier architecture. Okay, and in the next module, we talk about detail about the architecture of this project, the high-level architecture, and definitely we will drill down into lower-level architecture. Okay, and I will also explain you the reason behind why we selected a particular project architecture. Okay, so in this model, we just need to set up our machine to be ready for the actual development and implementation of project in technical work product. Okay, so I think most of you will know about Visual Studio, what it is. So it's integrated development environment wherein we code quickly, okay, and we make automated unit test cases. Visual Studio also helps you to develop lots of work product, technical work product for different devices. Like you can also develop mobile application, mobile apps, okay, console-based application, Windows-based applications, uh, web applications, backend services, okay, and different microservices architecture, components, okay. So plug and play services, okay. So there are lots of different category of tools that we can develop using Visual Studio. So it's really a powerful tool of Microsoft, okay. Microsoft. Yeah, so you can see here Microsoft Visual Studio. So go to the link. So please always go to the authenticated site of for downloading Visual Studio IDs. Don't go for any other site other than Microsoft. Okay. So here you can see there are different instances: Community Edition, Professional Edition, Enterprise Edition. So if you are a individual user, if you are using this course just for learning purpose, okay, not for your organization, okay. So you can choose this community edition because it doesn't require the additional licenses, and it's totally free for the students, okay, and the individual contributors who works for without any business profit, self-learning, or individual practices, okay. So then this is the best for you. So these professional and enterprise, these two versions generally enterprises use, and the difference between these two is mostly in terms of number of licenses that it provides, okay, and there are some enterprise grade features that is also added in enterprise and professional tools, like when you write automated unit test cases, then the enterprise gives you some extra eyes to write to test the programs, okay, more in more extensive way, okay. So, but as I think you can go with this community edition for learning and implementing the project for individual uses or individual learnings. So you can also utilize the most of the features of .NET Core and Visual Studio through it. Okay. So just click on download button. Yeah, so it is quickly started. Here it is. So dear learners, I would recommend so you can start doing it with me. Okay. So it will help you to quickly set up your machine if you are not aware about. It is just for new learners. Okay. So otherwise, if you already know how to install, or it is already installed in your machine, then just. But the new learners, please download and install it. Okay. So just ask you that by installing this Visual Studio installer, you must be agree with Microsoft software license terms. So these are the standard terms, like you won't use it for any uh, professional or enterprise grade distribution purpose. You would not breach the code of conduct and the uses of this Visual Studio for any malicious or wrong practices. You can click on continue. Yes, now it will give you option that what are the different templates that you want to use and keep in Visual Studio while it uh, installed, okay, by default. But don't worry, even if you don't select any all of it, you can also integrate it later. Okay, so it is okay if you just select the ASP.NET and web application. Later on, you can use as the other components or other templates you need. But since we are using .NET Core, so we definitely we need to select the ASP.NET Core based features. So it's, I mean, prerequisite. We should must select this template. Okay. Since we are going to deploy our application on Azure Cloud, so we will also select this template. This will, I mean, keep available by default some Azure services like CLI command to directly connect to Azure environment. So one thing I would again like to say, like .NET Core is platform independent uh, framework. So once you write code in Windows, then the same release you can deploy in even Linux or Mac operating system. Okay, so it's just this feature is really a differentiator among, it differentiate uh, .NET Core to its prior versions. But since my machine has Windows operating system, so I don't need this Linux and related components. So I will just leave it. I won't select it. But if someone has someone prefer to work on Linux, then definitely please you can go ahead and select this component. Since we are going to use Microsoft SQL Server as a database server, so we will select this component. So this will, help us in connecting SQL Server engine quickly. It provides some drivers that will help us to connect with database. Yeah. So I think these three is okay. Yeah, one more thing. So since we are going to use Angular, okay, as a front-end platform, so Angular need Node.js, okay, as an engine to run the front-end interfaces, and its library depends a bit on Node.js as well. So once we progress through the courses, then I will keep guiding you, okay, how Angular interact with .NET Core and what is the association uh, of Angular with Node.js, okay. Okay, so we don't need this component right now because we are not going to make any Windows-based application. So we can leave it. Here you can see install. Okay, so please make sure you have sufficient storage in your machine. So the component and template that we have selected so far, it needs 10.91 GB, almost 11 GB. So your machine should have at least 11 GB free space in spare. Okay. Uh, yeah, in spare, when I talk about in spare, that means it is not like your machine just have 11 GB. So as in basic rules, your hard disk should be 20% free always, okay, in order to uh, run your IDE and application codes and other programs of your machine uh, very well or smoothly, okay, because once any program runs, okay, so although the program runs in memory blocks, but it again also interact with the storage and needs some additional amount of storage on hard disk in order to keep the log files, and application related temporary files. Okay, so you if it's a demand of 11 GB and your hard disk is as 100 GB of space, then you should at least have 30 to 40 GB space free, okay, to have this application, to have this Visual Studio IDE, okay. Now you can click on install button. So again, it depends upon your network speed. So it takes some time to install Visual Studio. So I'm installing Community Edition. Okay. So it is free edition of a license of Visual Studio. You don't have to pay anything. Now, when project will be installed, then you can see the windows like it. So it will confirm that the application is available, okay, in this available tab. So now we have successfully installed Visual Studio Community Edition, okay. And if you have checked the box that immediately after installing the software, I mean Visual Studio software, it should open the application, and by default you will see this screen, okay. So this is the very initial screen from where you can create the project in Visual Studio, okay. The current objective of this module is to keep your machine ready for the development, right? So we have successfully installed the Visual Studio. Now we need to install Angular, the front end tool, right? So now we have to set up the Angular, okay. So the .NET Core SDK is already installed, okay. So as I said earlier also, that Angular depends upon node packages, okay. So it needs Node.js to execute the Angular framework, okay. So first we will install Node.js, then we will install the Angular, okay. Since beginning of this Visual Studio installation, there was a component Node.js. So since we already checked that, so Node.js is already installed in my machine. But if someone has missed to check that option, okay, then you can go to the Node.js website to download the latest packages. So you can type in node.js.org. This is the official website to download the 4.0 version. So you can download it. Since I already installed it, so no need to install it again on my PC. But if my installation is a older version, then I can again take update of this Node.js. Okay. So one point we should note here that there is I mean, a version compatibility issue can arise during executing the Angular command. Okay. So the Angular version, should be compatible with the Node.js. Okay. So as of now, I don't think any issue because I have downloaded the latest version. But going forward, if you face any such issue during executing Angular program, then please make sure that your Angular version must be compatible with Node.js, right? Okay. So as I said, if you have not installed the Node.js on your PC, please install it from this node.js.org, this official link. Okay. If you face any conflict during Node.js installation, okay, or when you try to update the package, then most likely reason could be maybe your Node package manager is running on latest version, and but your Node package is on lower version. Okay, so I think on my PC this could happen because I just uninstalled everything except Node package manager before initiating this video course. Okay, so I think it's good that if you face similar kind of problem, then how you can resolve it. Okay, so the one way to resolve this problem quickly is you to just download the uh, Node package manager from this website that I have just shown. Okay, I already downloaded this latest Node.js package. So here it is. Yes. So now I'm trying to install this package. Okay, you will get this window. Keep it everything default, and we will run through this wizard. Accept TNC. Now my Node.js installation package. This is default installation package, so I'll keep it as it is. I will not use any additional package or tool. So if anything requires during our project development, and for now I'm just trying to have the updated version of Node.js so that my npm and Node package both could be synced. So now our Node.js, the latest package of Node.js is successfully installed. We can also check it through command prompt like node -p. Yes. So it is showing that my Node.js is running on version 22.14.0. So as you can see earlier, our package was on version 20.11.1. Now it is upgraded to the latest one. Okay. Yes. So you can check it here. On the website, it's 22.14.0. And on our machine also, it is on the same version. Okay. So now there should not be any compatibility issue for installing Angular on Node. So we again take latest reference of Angular to install. So one more thing now we have to check uh, whether both Node and NPM is running on the latest version or not. Okay. So as we checked here, so nodejs.org, this is the official website of Node.js. So it is showing version, latest version as 22.14.0. And here we have 20.22.14.0, both is matching, right? It is on running, and now we have to check the NPM latest version. So the official site of NPM is npmjs.com. I think it is. Why we came to this portal to just check what is the latest version of NPM package, right? So as you can see here, so the latest version is 11.2.0. Okay. And what version we are having? It's okay. So our version is 10.9.2, but I think it is deployed, I mean, just 2-3 weeks ago. Okay, so this should not be the problem, but as per recommendation, it is always better to have the latest version of NPM package. So we just copy this command and execute. Okay, so this same command will be used for fresh installation as well as for updating the package. So as you can see, the updation progress is in progress. Exclusive other command by which we can update the package. So by that way, the libraries those requires funds, okay, would be excluded, but the overall upgrade for other libraries, other open source features would be available. Okay, so still we would be on running on the latest version of NPM. So let's try that exclusive command. we know the versions, just define it. Okay, so now we install this exclusive package. Okay, you can check. It should have the latest stable version, that is 11.2.0. Now here it is. So now the next step is to install the Angular, okay, the TypeScript framework that run over this Node.js, okay. So there are lots of libraries that needs regular update. So Angular has dependency on this npm node package manager to update the packages. So that's why we install this npm and Node.js before installing the Angular, right? Now, even in order to install the Angular, again, we have to uh, go through the npm, okay, the node package manager. So what is the exact command? Okay? So if you remember, then that is fine. But even if you don't remember, there is a place, I mean, Angular official website. You can refer that website to uh, any Angular command in order to do CLI-based development, or it has comprehensive documentation on the complete architecture of Angular and a complete course and syntaxes and how it deals with backend services. So that all is available. So I would like to show you. Please save these links, okay, for your reference, okay, so that you should not deviate from official site and go for some alternate site, right? So never go to alternate site, okay? So it is always better to refer official website of component or library owners, right? So for Angular, it's angular.db. This is the official website of Angular, okay? Okay, so go to the docs. It will give you a complete theoretical idea about what is Angular, what are the different commands and syntaxes, how we can use Angular, even the installation steps, everything is here. Okay. Yeah, so this is what I was trying to refer. So in case if you forget the command, just copy it from here. So it's npm install -g at angular-cli. So this will install the latest version of Angular package as well as CLI commands. Yes. So now your Angular is installed in your PC. And I believe your machine is ready for no, not ready, because you also need to install Microsoft SQL Server as a database management software. Now you can see here your Angular is installed. So you can also verify the latest version of Angular through ng command. So if your Angular is successfully installed, then it will, if you type in ngv, it will give you the version and other details of Angular. Yes. So now this shows that Angular is successfully installed your machine. We already installed Visual Studio Community Edition. So, and the .NET Core component, library, and frameworks. Okay. So now my machine has Node.js, Angular, Visual Studio, and .NET Core frameworks and libraries installed on my machine. So next, what we need to have the complete development environment, official website of SQL Server. So here it is. First, let me check if I already have installed this on my PC or not. Yes. So SQL Server is already installed on my PC. Yeah, so this will open the SQL Server Management Studio. And from here, I can connect to any remote database server or even on my local database. Yeah, so here I am connected on my local database. There is no database installed at this moment, so we can create. Okay, so we can see in another module about database management concept. So the objective of this first module is to set up our system and keep it ready for development, right? So since Microsoft SQL Server is already installed on my PC, so I don't need to do anything. But dear learners, if you don't have this database platform, platform software, then you can install it. Okay. So there are multiple instances. SQL Server comes with different flavors, so you can pick any one of it, but for the interest of this course and free uses of SQL Server without any license obligation, you can either go to developer instance or express instance. Okay. So install this developer edition because it would have more features, but it doesn't mean for production use. You can use it in non-production development environment or your for individual uses. No problem. It's very simple, pretty easy. It's like just next, next, next. So you have to specify the path where it needs to be installed, and there are two data files like master database file and log file. So you have to put the location during the installation, and it will simply install all the database related library engines, client drivers in order to connect your SQL Server with remotely available servers. So don't worry, we will get into the more in-depth detail of database concept in another module. So the basic objective of this course was, yes. So don't worry, we will revisit the database concept in our next module because the goal of this module 1 is to just keep your machine ready, and going forward in respective modules, when we come across the different development aspects, then alongside I will explain you all your queries, okay, in between. And yes, so now quickly see if anything is left for now for this first module, wherein we have to set up our machine. So dear learners, one more thing, like in order to do your regular development activities, you should must have one GitHub account, okay? So GitHub is a version control software, okay? So it keeps all your source in multiple version of your documents, artifacts, the source code files in these version control softwares, okay? Even if by mistake you overwrite some, the correct version with the wrong version, then from the reverse side, it can also be again fixed, okay? So the GitHub is one of the version control tool, okay? So this kind of tool is used in a larger team, or even in a small project where 2 or 3 developers works together, okay, in order to sharing their work product, merging their modules, okay, into one monolithic application, or even developers work on different component-based applications or smaller services, and at the end, they all want to collaborate their works together and put it under one single solution, okay? And finally, the complete solution along the changes of all the developers kept into central repository. So this version control software also works like a software a script repository, okay? So this is a very useful utility that every software developers uses, okay? So in this course I have used GitHub, okay? Otherwise there are lots other version platform available in market, like Bitbucket, and Microsoft also have a version control application like Azure DevOps. Now the next step is to create a GitHub account, okay? So I would suggest every learner should must create their GitHub account, okay? So that would be very useful while we do any development activities, so we can maintain our coding files, the project related, any document artifacts in the version control software, okay? So it's not any rocket science, it's very easy tool, right? So you can go here. So I already have GitHub account. Okay. So I don't want to create another one. Okay. So dear learners, so this is the website of GitHub, I mean, official website of GitHub. Okay, so if you do not have a GitHub account, then you can click on sign up button, and it is not a more lengthy form. You just have to enter your email, password, preferred username, select the country, and this email preferences is optional field, so it's just for whether you like or not to receive any updates or announcements. And you can simply click on continue button, right? And if you already have a GitHub account, then you can directly go to sign in. As I already have my GitHub account, especially for this development training. So as you can see, I have not created any repository here, right? So once we start the new modules and create a repository in our code architecture, in that session, I will create a project and a separate repository in GitHub along with you. I think that would be more beneficial. So both of us can work together. Okay, so that would be great learning for you. And if there would be any problem you face, then we can troubleshoot there and there. Dear learners, so now we have finished our module 1, in which we successfully installed all the mandatory settings for our ongoing development activities. Okay, so in part 2, we will discuss how to set up a GitHub version control repository, and we will also take you through how a basic simple project structure can be created using the default template of .NET Core framework and Angular library. And at the end, we will also show you how we can push our code into GitHub library. Okay. So thank you so much. We will meet you in part 2 section. And, you are really getting advantage from my video and my channel, then please, I would request to all of you, please subscribe to my channel by going to the YouTube, and you can just type Developers Training Hub and click on the subscribe button or bell icon to subscribe my channel. Thank you.